Well, first off, I appreciate you meeting with us. I think what a lot of people are wondering is what's next for Dinesh D'Souza. I mean, what future projects do you expect?
Well, happily, I've completed my 8 months of penance with overnight confinement as a result of exceeding campaign finance laws. So I've kind of got my life back.
Right.
And I'm doing a book. It's called Stealing America, and it's coming out this fall in November, HarperCollins. And the theme of that book is that the Democratic Party and the progressive movement have essentially become a system of organized theft and almost a sort of racket. And I've learned a fair amount about the criminal racket being in the confinement center with a lot of guys who came straight from prison.
Right.
So I learned a lot about rackets, and I said, well, it's a kind of a chilling similarity between what you guys are telling me and essentially what I see in politics. So the book is an effort to lay out that argument. And then I'm going to do a movie for next summer, and the movie is going to focus not just on Hillary, but it's going to be a secret history of progressivism in the Democratic Party, because we get this sort of storyline. The Democratic Party is the party of equal rights and civil rights and human rights and liberation, and progressivism is a movement that's brought progress. But in reality, both the Democratic Party and progressivism have their roots in a seedy and blood-stained history that not only includes slavery, segregation, the Ku Klux Klan, but also includes eugenics, support for fascism and Nazism, and we're going to tell some of that story in the movie. So I got the book coming out this year, I got a movie coming out next year, and I'm also doing a whole bunch of other stuff.
Wow, it sounds fascinating. In America, Imagine the World Without Her, you reference the history of Hillary as rising up. You also mentioned that you'd be working on a project concerning Hillary. Give us a little preview as to what we might be expecting in terms of any massive twists that we should be expecting, or has she been more transparent with her past than, say, Barack Obama?
Well, in the America movie, we talked about Alinsky as being kind of the link between Obama and Hillary, and Alinsky was to some degree a kind of ideologue, and Obama was attracted by that aspect of Alinsky. Right. And Obama's an ideologue. He has a certain view of the world. I argued it's an anti-colonial view of the world,
right.
But it's an ideological view of the world. Hillary, I think, is the other side of Alinsky. Now, Alinsky was a little bit of a gangster, and by that I mean he spent time studying the Chicago gangs. He particularly focused on the Al Capone operation. And he talks with undisguised glee about how these guys were able to shake money down from people by threatening them. Now, Alinsky realized he's not Luca Brasi, he can't put a gun to people's head, but he could intimidate them. You're a racist. Or, hey, Mayor Daley, if you unless you give us what we want, we're going to send 300 activists and they're going to take up all the restrooms and all the stalls in O'Hare Airport, and none of the people getting off the plane can go to the bathroom.
Wow.
So you better give in or else. And this strategy of politics, which was kind of a little bit new in American politics, was invented by Alinsky. You can see strains of it in the racial shakedowns that Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton do, but it's now become standard practice in the Democratic Party. The EPA, federal agencies, often accompanied by SWAT teams, now use this mechanism of shaking people down, extracting money out of them, extracting money out of banks, investment houses, insurance companies. So there's a new story of American politics that's emerging here, and we want to tell that story in the movie.
Fantastic. Well, and you referenced your confinement, and obviously this big story in conservative media. Do you intend to do any projects or any books, films, what have you, that might might kind of take aim at the Justice Department, or any of the political considerations that might have led to your legal problems?
Well, first of all, on the issue of my actual offense, which was exceeding the campaign finance laws, so I gave $20,000 to a college friend of mine, and for that I got a big fine, and I got 8 months of confinement, and I got a community service and some other things. Now there's a guy, happens to be an Asian Indian guy named Chatwal. He gave $186,000 to Hillary Clinton and a whole bunch of other Democratic candidates. So almost 10 times what I gave.
Right.
He also was convicted of witness tampering because not only did he use the straw donors, but he tried to intimidate witnesses into not telling the truth in court. And he was convicted of it. And his penalty, 3 months probation.
Wow.
3 months probation, no prison time, no confinement. By the way, I got 5 years probation. So there's a ridiculous inequity. Justice isn't just about did you do it. It's about is the penalty proportionate to the offense.
Mm-hmm.
And second of all, are other people who did the same thing or worse being treated in a similar manner? I think when you look at that, you become very troubled about the way our justice system operates. I also had, the view which a lot of conservatives have that by and large, if somebody is in prison, they're guilty. Right? They did it.
Right.
But you have to realize under our system of plea bargaining, where the government comes to you and they basically say, listen, we're going to charge you with crimes that are going to put you away for 10 years if you're convicted, or you sign here and we'll plead guilty and we'll give you 6 months in prison. Even if you're innocent, it's very rational for you to sign. It makes all of, you can't risk 10 years of your life.
Classic risk aversion.
Yes. And so you realize with some dismay that everything you learned in college about better that 9 guilty men go free than 1 innocent man be in prison, I'm convinced that there are quite a few innocent people who are in prison.
I can definitely understand that argument. Last question. Obviously 2016 was just a massive mega hit, and you warned America about what the world may look like in 2016, and when Obama is heading off into the sunset. We're approaching that fever pitch. He sees the writing on the wall. His time is limited. Should we be worried about any constitutional crisis or any type of dictatorial problems with the next year and a half?
See, I don't think so. I think that the Obama plan is to hand the baton to a fellow Alinskyite, Hillary Clinton, and to continue the remaking of America through the political process. See, remember the Democratic Party, what they figured out is that they can conduct theft through the democratic process. They don't actually have to subvert the process. They simply have to line up an electoral majority on their behalf. And then they can legally come to your house and pick up your furniture and reach for your wallet and close your college savings account. They don't actually need to declare themselves into Mussolini's or Hitler's to do it.
Right.
They can do it through the process, and they've mastered the process. And I think in order to fight them, we've got to realize that we've got to fight them within the process itself.
Fantastic. Well, I really appreciate your time, Mr. D'Souza. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.